Now, I don't mean to alarm all of you, but something very peculiar has happened in Northern Ireland over the past 24 hours. As you can see, the ground is what I believe is commonly referred to as dry, and there's no wet stuff coming out of the sky. So either it's the sign of the apocalypse, or it's the one day of summer that we get. So let's make the best of it. I'm going to show you the wondrous sights of the north coast of Northern Ireland. Genuinely though, it's bloody roasting here today, and I have no idea as to why, because the weather's been typically Northern Irish this past couple of days, so. But we'll make the bloody most of it, as we say. So let's get out of here and get on the road. So yeah, we're in Portrush currently, which is the first stop of our journey. We're not going the whole way down the coastal route. Jesus Christ, that's the only issue with getting out of here. It's quite treacherous, which is ironic considering this is the car park to a graveyard, so you know, make of that what you will. Right, let's just go. There we go. So yes, this is Portrush, known for the well, it's known for many things, being a third of the Northwest 200 circuit, and where apparently some golf thing is happening in a couple of weeks' time. I don't know. I'm not a golfist, so it's not really of much interest to me. But I'm sure it is to some folk, and that's all very good. Now the only issue here is I'm doing this on a Friday, and traffic on Fridays tends to be a bit of a pain in the arse. So hopefully once we get out of here and get onto the coastal road itself, we shouldn't have too many issues. So yeah, we're not going the whole way because that would take us to that would take all day. And even though I do have all day, I would rather I have things to do. That's not true. I don't have anything to do. I'm just lying, just blatantly lying. But we'll go a fair trek. We're going out to Ballycastle, which is far enough as far as I'm concerned. Nice Porsche, mate. Someone's doing all right. Oh, waiting is my favourite thing in the world. Right, come on, lads and lasses and others. Let's crack on, shall we? Right, come on, let's go, 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 go. We are free! Huzzah! That only took about 10 minutes. Ah, a fellow two-wheel machinist on was that a Tracer? Same engine as what's in you, my darling. I'm too busy looking at you, then I should be looking at the road. Right, you just kind of have to be a wee bit forceful sometimes, so. But it was legal before anyone says anything. So yes, this is where all the posh lads with the chinos that will be hitting a ball with a stick is occurring. I don't know. If you're into golf, is this a good golf course? I don't know the difference. Like I played, like PGA Tour on MS-DOS many years ago, and that was, or Windows 95, and that was as far as my kind of affair with golf was. It was brief, and it was filled with many bogeys. That's a golf term, isn't it? If you've never been to Northern Ireland, I highly recommend you come. Admittedly, probably not at the minute, because there's some unsavoury carry-on happening in certain parts of the country that we could do without. But in general, yeah, it's great. It looks spectacular. The people are decent when they're not bloody. Well, I'll rephrase that. The majority of the people are decent. As I say, there's currently a situation occurring, but we'll breeze past that because we don't want to give them any airtime. But and it's cheaper than a kick in the arse to get here. Admittedly, you know, if you're staying somewhere like Portrush, it's a seaside town, they'll probably fleece you on accommodation. Oh, childish, but who cares? It's very fun. And I can't think of many better places where I'd rather be riding a motorcycle than this road. And when we get to the end of this video, you'll see as to why. There you go. Golf, etc. But we're not here to talk about golf. I've given it too much. I've talked about it way too much already. Anyway, yeah, oh god, yep. Now, as much as I love riding on this road, which I do because, as you're about to see, it is incredibly bloody picture skew. There is people do have a habit of going at bloody 40 mile an hour for no discernible reason, because this is a 60 and it's double white line, so you can't pass anyone at this stage. And oh my, there's much. It's a good thing that people can't hear you inside a helmet, is all I'm saying, because yeah, much anger and general annoyance doth occur. But look at this already. You can see as to why this is so popular. You've got the sea on one side, you have the hills and the mountain. Well, it's not even a mountain, it's just a big hill on the other side, and you're just carving through the middle of it, having a lovely time. Apart from the fact, as I say, aha, we have hit the 40 mile an hour crew. That's why I would never buy one of these stupid SUV things that everyone seems to be in these days, because every single one of them seems limited to 50 mile an hour. So I will stick to my Astra, thank you very much. I mean, come on, like, come on. Where else in the world would you get it? Probably loads of places. Actually, I'm not a very worldly man. So yeah, this is Mackara Cross, viewing point. You can stand out and have a look out at the sea. That's very nice. But we've no time for standing and staring today. We're going to be staring whilst on the go, as we look at the back end of Dunluce Castle. It's a cultural landmark of the North Coast. But aye, there you go. Not a bad spot at all, and it just gets better. Oh, of course. Oh, there you go. This guy is he's already had enough, and I don't blame him. And whenever we get a chance, we're going to do exactly the same. But not yet, because we're on a corner, and that would be irresponsible and a bit silly. See, stuff like this, it takes genuine effort and physical restraint, which means people are doing it on purpose, which means they know what they're doing. They're out to piss everyone off. But he's turning off into Port Ballantrae, which is a good thing, because we're not. We're going straight on. Sorry, you may have lost signal there for a second. I don't know what happened. So I don't know what could have possibly have gone on there. Now we're coming into the town of Bushmills, where if you're a fan of whiskey, you'll know Bushmills very well, as this is where the oldest I do believe the world's oldest distillery is. I don't drink, so it's not really much use of me telling you all this stuff. More roadworks, excellent. This is what all of our taxes are going towards, and it definitely makes the roads better. Absolutely, there's certainly no potholes around or anything. That's mean. The lads and lasses are just doing their job. It's not their fault that the roads are in terrible nick. Although it is this guy's fault that he's not letting these. There we go, chum. A lovely little place, Bushmills, I have to say, and it is. And when I say little, I do mean little. It's essentially this street, and that's about it. Distillery's just up that way. If you ever fancy coming and taking a look for yourself, you can go on tours and stuff. It's very nice, I'm sure. Indicate, mate. That would be, helpful. Oh dear. There we go. Well done, friend. I'm very passive aggressive, as you've probably told, and I do love a whinge, so the slightest thing that I can garn about, I absolutely will, and I can only apologise. Paramilitary gangs groom children and force them to sell drugs. I mean, I'm sure they do. They're not really known for being paragons of virtue, the old paramilitaries. Right, we're heading out of Bushmills now, and we are heading towards the Giant's Causeway, which I'm sure everybody knows what the Giant's Causeway is. It's a massive tourist attraction, and I used to actually work in the visitor centre for about a week before I kind of got a bit disillusioned with the whole thing, considering, well, I think it was that, and primarily because people were coming in. If you come in through the visitor centre, then you have to pay to go down to the causeway, but if you park off site, you can just walk down for free. And I kept telling people when they were coming in, look, you can just park off site and just walk down, save yourself bloody, what was it, 20 quid? So yeah, they probably weren't best pleased that I was doing that, but come on now, 20 quid to see a bunch of rocks. Look at that, boys. Count the amount of times I say look at that during this trip, but come on, a summer's day. What more could you ask for? And there we are. There's the Causeway Hotel. If you want to stay there, I don't know. I feel like I swear I don't work for the Northern Ireland Tourist Board or for the Giant's Causeway anymore, as has been pointed out. But I just think it's one of these the North Coast is one of these places that, yes, it has sort of recognisable landmarks and stuff. It's got the Causeway, and then we'll be coming up to the likes of Carrick-a-Reid Rope Bridge in a short while. Plus, it just looks ridiculously class, and people just don't know it's here. And I feel like it needs to. Oh, come on! There you go. Well, I don't know where you're going, so I'm just gonna meander around this way and away from you. So yeah, I feel like it doesn't really get much of its much love from people, only after they've visited it. What are we doing here, lads? By the way, lads, if you hear me use the word lads is a gender neutral term in Northern Ireland. A bunch of chaps can be lads, a bunch of ladies can be lads, your ma can be a lad. It's just everyone's lads. So yeah, we've gone from literally being beside the sea, and we're now surrounded by fields in a matter of, 2-3 minutes? It's why this road is so popular, I think. It's because it's not only is the scenery spectacular, it changes every few minutes, so you're sort of kept on your toes a bit, metaphorically speaking, of course. The sheep just having the crack, not having a bad time of it at all. Well, there you are. If anyone's looking at a Citroen C8, there you are. There's one for sale. It's fair play to you, mate. I don't envy you doing that. I can barely manoeuvre this bloody thing, let alone a lorry with a big trailer on the back of it. Terribly sorry, Volvo, but you're kind of in the way. You're sort of distracting from the view a tad. Yes, that probably was a wee bit silly, but I don't know. But it was worth it to show all of you this. Look at this, boys, and I mean, come on. So now we've seen some quite spectacular sights already, but now we're about to come to the jewel in the crown of this part of the coastal route, going out towards a little town called Ballintoy, which has a harbour, which we won't be going to because it's an absolute pain in the arse to get to, and it'll probably be rammed with folk. But if you've ever seen Game of Thrones before, I hear it's quite I hear it was quite popular back at the time. A lot of stuff actually for Game of Thrones was filmed in Northern Ireland, especially up on the north coast. Like the Dark Hedges is just sort of over that direction, and yeah, Ballantoy Harbour was used. But this is it generally is my favourite part of the whole route. Whenever people decide to do the speed limit, there I go, whinging again. Who'd have thought? Oh, that's selling a load of spuds. That would do, and a coffee shop. Where if you come to, well, I suppose anywhere in the world now, that's pretty much all it is charity shops and coffee shops. I don't drink coffee, so it's yeah, I don't drink alcohol and I don't drink coffee. What a thoroughly exciting man I am. But who needs coffee and alcohol to feel alive whenever you could just look at that? That's all I need. Well, that and copious amounts of tea and biscuits, but that's besides the point. I should probably watch where I'm going at some point as well. I'm just as bad as everybody else now. See, people have an animosity towards tractors. I don't particularly, because my rationale is, yes, they're going slow, but they're at work. So, you know, they're just doing their job. Can't be mad at someone just trying to do their job. Oh my god, is that the paddy wagon? It is! Ah, lads, we've stumbled upon another cultural icon. The paddy wagon, I've never been on it, to be fair. You just see it in the summertime around here constantly. It's essentially just a big bus with paddy wagon written on the side. I assume it's some sort of party bus where, oh, but before, come on. There's a viewing point here, which we're going to pull in just for a second, just to have a look at that. I mean, it's pretty bloody good, lads. Yeah, the paddy wagon. I assume it's just a party bus where a bunch of middle-aged dads get on it and get on the beers from the scrack of dawn and just get on it, I suppose. The ironic thing about me banging on about how nice this all is that I'm not a big fan of the sea. I can't swim, so, and I'm scared of the water, so I'll happily look at it all day long, but going in it, are you mad? That's the thing, you hear stories about people going in the sea and stuff and getting bitten by sharks and stung by jellyfish and stuff. It's like, technically you're trespassing, that's its house, and you're trespassing. You'd do the same thing if someone came into your gaff during your Sunday dinner. And if you ever want to stay around here, there's plenty of places, plenty of B&Bs, plenty of hostels. Airbnbs are a thing now, aren't they? That's what everyone does now, if you fancy being bloody charged through the nose for no obvious reason. But yeah, this is Ballantoy Harbour is down there. As well, the sign, unless the sign's lying to you, which I guarantee you it's not. As where this fella or lady in the Peugeot is going eventually. There you see, it's down there. It's very nice when you get down there, but it's a bit of a faff to get to. It's full of windy roads and they're all very tight. But this is the tiny town of Ballantoy. It is literally just this street, and that is pretty much it. But it's got a pink tractor and an army guy pointing at nothing in particular, so what more could you ask for? Oh, there we go. My suspicions have been confirmed. 2 paddy wagons! This is truly a monumental occasion. We've seen 2 of them in the wild. And they're stopped outside the pub, so there you go. My suspicions are somewhat correct. And now we're just going to follow this Merc out of Ballantoy towards the Carrick-a-Reid rope bridge, which used to be all dangerous and stuff, but then they made it all safe, so it's not as fun anymore, but it's probably bloody twice the price. So yeah, Basically, it's a rope bridge that goes between sort of two islands. It's way up in the air. It's pretty spectacular views from it, as you would imagine. But if you don't like heights, it's probably not for you. I wouldn't have thought. Oh, come on, friendo! It's a 60. It's a 60. Oh my word! Really? We're doing this, are we? This, I have to say, is my favourite part of the entire road. Look at that. Look at it, he says, looking away, but I have to watch the road. Man, now I'm not a very jingoist, is that the word? Jingoistic? I think that's the word. Person who bangs on about, you know, I'm so proud of where I'm from and all that carry on, because I didn't really have much of a say in where I was from. It just kind of happened. I just happened to be born here. But some of the places that we have in this country are spectacular, truly spectacular. And there's not an awful lot of people know about it, which I think is a shame. And I think more people should come and experience it. Really, if you like spectacular scenery, if you like a good feed, and if you like decent people for the most part, get your arse over to Northern Ireland in general, specifically the north coast of Northern Ireland. See, you've got the sea right there, and then you've got on the other side of the road, literally sprawling fields and forests and just green everywhere. And cyclists, but you know, you can avoid them as best you can. And coys! Don't avoid them, because they are fantastic. Oh no, yes, this is some wagon here. There's a VW camper. Yes, please, I'll have me some of that. That is... well, it might not be, but it's kind of similar, but we're going to go by you. Sorry, mate. Fair play, that's a choice you've made. And here we are, we have arrived in Ballycastle. So we're going to go down to the seafront, because why wouldn't you? Oh, and we have an artisan market. So there you go, you can come to that. Well, you can't really, because it's in the past. But you could have, if you were here and had known and were psychic, or had a passing interest in artisan markets for whatever reason. I am more interested in this dog that's sticking its head out the window. The thing is, right, now I've literally just bought a house this week, and I would say those static homes are not a kick in the arse off what I paid for my house. It's mad, isn't it? I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, which I most likely am, because I tend to be about most things, but Ballycastle was voted Northern Ireland's best place to live a few years ago, I think. And you can see why. It's a nice little suburb areas. What am I on about? And then just right on the top of this hill, you get to wake up and see this every morning. Look at that. My word. What a place. What a place. And if you like your golf, there's a golf course right over there. So you can do that if you want. I personally would rather just go to the chipper around here and get some fish and chips and throw a load of ice cream in my head, which sounds like a bloody good time to me. So we're going to pull in here where the two-wheel fraternity tend to pull in and talk shite, which is what I'm about to do. So thank you all very much for joining me on this little trip. And yeah, come to Northern Ireland when you get a chance. Oh shit. There you are. I'll leave you with a shot of the harbour. So aye, come to Northern Ireland, as I say. You'll like it, I swear.